Must be October 4th since yesterday was October 3rd. I am supposed to do grocery shopping today-ish. So I'm out of coffee and I feel so tired. I feel like I'm carrying an extra body. I feel so tired. I'm scared. Uh, there is it's supposed to be rain today, and I don't know, it's just so crazy, man. Like, I'm supposed to be like acting normal when there's a mutilated lizard on one of the fence posts, my fence post. You know, it's like hard to. I'm not gonna lie, man. I haven't had a much of an appetite for a while about lizard stuff. And I feel so spent, so beat. Oh my gosh. So, I'm putting the stuffed animals on the toilet as I do, and doing laundry. I need to unload the dishwasher. I have leftover from yesterday in the oven still. And other than that, so crazy. Because I'm here, but it's so much more about what is here than like any other time in my life, any other place I've lived. um and it's hard because, I have to use everything a certain way because it's like a certain level of broken. And so it's just not like a straightforward thing, and it's just very draining. But yeah. I still I got, I think it's called 17 or something. On downstairs. I need to go look. I woke up and I could hear the television, and the character was like, I would do anything for you. And it just got me thinking, because I think what isn't said enough is that humanity is really experiencing this sort of like a longing for adolescence, because there's so many things that could be done, but you would just seriously have to just like be an adult and do those things. And I think a lot of people, want to say like there's something else to do, but living alone, it's kind of interesting that I have been in a position to uh, continue to think in a way that is very plural and I guess it's probably due to my political roots. But incarcerated, it sort of seems like that, but um but yeah, I think it's a youthful thing to be selfish, and I think it's warranted. And I also think that the difference between being you know uh, paternalistic and being adulterated is that when intention is to provide or nurture, it's just always that simple. You just really don't have expectations. It's just so straightforward. And I think, unfortunately, most people don't, have that experience. And so there's a sort of resistance to be very mature. And there's a lot of, false ownership. And, what that really is a matter of, being possessive or, things like this. And so once, the, leap is made, or, you recognize that maybe there is too great of a divide, and, you do have to sacrifice, your innocence or your, adolescence. Um, I think that there are ways to come back to that once things are situated and, stable. I think that's really what it comes down to is, unfortunately, if you're not in a position to be provided for and to have, a lot of security in your life, you're not going to be as youthful as someone who does. And that's what the big thing is that you can't buy that kind of attention or care when you're being set up for success, because it is set up for success, the lifestyle or the home or whatever it is, the relationship, but, I think that governance does that. And so that's why um, I get to do both. Um, yeah, I do, because I can say, honestly, that, there are plenty of things that I want for myself that I want for others. And if I were able to identify how that were true and how I could share that or how it were accessible, I would feel so much more at peace and so much more, I don't know, just alive. So, anyways, I'm fucking tired as fuck. I'm so fucking tired. I really am. But I, I really wish to, enable a discussion, about how, people feel like they have had to compensate um, for their, for their youth, and I think if we can get an honest discussion going, in that direction, then, things can be identified as, points for infrastructure, and, there can be a consistent contribution in that direction, which, would foster a very vibrant society. Um, yeah, work is sort of a taboo word these days because, like I said, I've never been in a position to, you know, have so much of my life be contingent upon, where I am. And so, it is a lot of work. I do laundry every day. I vacuum the floors every day. I do the dishes every day. I tidy up outside every day. Things like this. And so it is a lot of work. But unfortunately, I think a lot of that has to do with, uh, you know, inequalities and insecurities, that, make procurement or, things like accessibility, issues and things like this. Um, but yeah, I feel really inspired to, create this sort of, more golden age where, you know, people don't have to pretend to be happy. They can, look to their neighbors and know that they are, um, somehow equal, because they do have, the same resources, and they do have, trust and faith, in their community. And so, you know, um, I really love this sort of like boomer concept of like, the roaring 20s and things like this because, I am convicted that people are not as present because, of some, instability. And, I just hope that with some grace and, some hope that, just admitting that those things aren't being tended to will, enable uh, some um, some consideration, that will foster uh, a a society that will need a new name. And it'll be a lot busier and more predictable. And I feel confident that it could go on that way for quite some time. Well, if you need help with the papers, with the paperwork, let me know. I'm your gal. I never know where to find the comments after I log off. So, oh, look at that. Wow, I really got some this time. Cool, cool.